how body fat affects your physique and why I promote the lean/shredded look. It seems that right now there's a trend towards largeness and becoming sort of more of a thicker look when it comes to physical fitness, especially considering obesity trends in this country right now. It appears that people are more susceptible to these kinds of fitness protocols, especially here in the West. However, the research and studies would say that this approach is not the healthiest. Now, being too shredded, being too lean is also not healthy. However, I personally think that trying to focus more on that kind of style of fitness is more of a realistic mentality to have. And I think that you're going to be happier with your progress, especially in the long run overall, if you sort of adopt more of this mindset as you progress in your fitness journey. I struggled for years trying to be someone that I could never be. I did the best that I could. I did not have a perfect fitness journey, though, I will admit. I made a lot of mistakes. I followed protocols that were really clearly very ineffective, and I kind of knew that deep down. I think I was just lying to myself in the process because I was getting sort of okay results. However, if I could go back, especially to whenever I was like 18 when I first started this and had probably the best, natural hormones, the best genetic profile in my life, I would have done so many things a lot different than I was doing back then. I would say the number one thing, though, that I probably would have changed back then is cut out the added sugar. I mean, I could only imagine what kind of results I would have achieved back then. However, I just didn't know. And on top of that, even back then in 2015, the internet was still kind of a wild west when it came to fitness and nutrition knowledge. Now, it was a lot better than it was, 10 years before that and 10 years before that time as well. However, things are always changing. Information is always getting updated and improving. So I can only imagine how much further I would have been back then. However, that still does not negate the fact that I'm still very much pro-leanness. I'm an advocate for being shredded and super lean and having super low body fat. And I don't really believe that, being at a higher body fat is healthier in comparison to a lower body fat. I think it's generally kind of the same situation. However, I'm just saying from an aesthetic standpoint and just as far as like how you're going to feel with your satisfaction and your fitness overall, I do feel that if you aim more for shreddedness over size, you're going to be much happier and you're going to, I personally think, enjoy the process more. And you see, the thing is also, here's a point to mention, is that getting, for example, like abdominal muscles to show is extremely difficult, but it's mostly difficult because you have to get to such a low weight. Most people, especially, I would say even in this fitness industry, who do progress pictures and post them for their followers to see, most of them are flexing their abs. Most of my pictures, I'm not flexing my abdominal muscles. It's exactly what they look like without flexing, just in their natural state. But however, in order to get that physical state, that physicality, you have to lean down to very low body weight, because that's really how you truly get shredded. You can get lean and you can have the appearance of being shredded if you just trim down a little bit, because then if you just merely flex your abs, then you'll have abdominal definition. However, I would say take a picture of yourself without flexing those abdominal muscles. Yeah, see, now things are a bit different, right? You probably look a lot different. Probably can't really see barely much of anything in your abdominal area. And that's because, a lot of people tend to store body fat in their stomach area, and you have to trim down those last couple pounds. It might even be as little as 5 pounds that you have to lose in order to finally get your abs. Back to the main point of this video, though, again, is that I'm a big promoter of the shredded look for this very reason. And yes, you can, pretty much 99% of people can actually, in fact, get abs. In fact, I was listening to a fitness YouTuber on a podcast, actually. I think it was a couple of days ago or a week ago. And he did say that, despite the fact that, a lot of people claim they cannot get abdominal definition, he said he's never had a client where he trained them to a low enough body fat and they didn't have abdominals. I'm trying to figure out and remember who that was that said that, but I believe him. And I think, I want to say he did also mention one sort of, fine print issue is that these people didn't necessarily reach the goal. Oh, now I remember who it was. Okay, it was Dave Palumbo. Now, obviously he's a known substance user. He's not natural, but that doesn't negate his credibility. He's probably almost 60 now. He's probably had decades of experience. And yeah, I would take his word. I generally trust people like that, even though, they are pro-steroid and I'm not. He has a good point, is that, you can't deny just nature, right? You lose body fat, you're going to look different. So with this video pretty much summed up here, I promote the lean/shredded look. Why? Because it's easier to get abdominal definition. In some research, it does reflect that it's healthier, and you're going to get results faster and be happier and more satisfied a lot quicker in your fitness journey.